type it in. I am Wendy Wisdom, and I will be doing these live discussions every Monday and Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Um, bear with me as I get familiar with this process, and let's get started. So, I wanted to talk about family and its impact on our emotional well being. And so, I have just been thinking about it for a long time to talk about it. And, even I, somebody who is a mental health advocate, somebody who is a mental health professional, even I'm like, I don't want to talk about family. It's a touchy, sensitive topic, but guess what? None of us have perfect families, including myself. And so, if I can bless somebody, enlighten somebody, help someone to feel like they have a safe forum to express themselves or to be encouraged and to remove some of the guilt and shame that we have with um, unhealthy family dynamics. I'm here for it. Even if one person receives, my job is done. Okay? All right. So family to me, this is my definition, my perspective. Okay? Family is determined by your blood relatives. Okay? But as an adult, you have the opportunity and privilege to choose who you consider family. Okay? So only you know what is good for your emotional well being, what is good for your peace of mind. What are the important things and qualities that you need a person who you will allow access to you, who you will consider a support system for you, your children, what type of qualities does that person need to have? I know for me, just to name a few, I stated they need to be loyal, they need to be trustworthy, they need to be respectful, supportive, good for my emotional well-being. um, and that's just to name a few things, right? But everybody has their different things that they need. Some people have more tolerance for certain things than others. So you get to choose as an adult who you consider family. And side note, I'm not preaching separatism or anything like that. I just want people to be aware that no one has a perfect family and that we get to pick and choose who we consider family now that we are adults. And if you have a toxic relationship dynamic or some generational curses you want to break, I encourage you to do it. And I'm here to let you know it's going to be a lonely, tough journey, but you deserve to create the lifestyle that you want. You get the choice to separate from anything that is imprisoning you from thriving and having meaningful and fulfilling relationships as an adult. Okay? So, that is my purpose and intention on talking about this. And Wednesday night we'll have part two. So again, family is, as children, we don't get to choose. We stuck with the lovely, well-meaning parents that we get and family members when we're children. But as adults, I encourage you to know that you get to choose who you allow to have access to you, how often, what qualities they need to have. So that means you got to get to know yourself too, right? You got to understand what it is that you need. Like I said, I need someone who's respectful, loyal, good for my mental health and emotional well-being. I need somebody who's reliable and someone who's not just a taker, okay? It needs to be a give and take situation for me to consider you family, okay? Because everybody who's blood don't act like family. Now, anyway, so moving right along. So again, you get to choose as an adult who you consider family. And so also, when you're considering who you want to consider as family, make sure they're emotionally safe. Meaning they are not going to tell your business to everybody. They're somebody you can confide in and tell deep personal things to. And you know that your secret is safe with them. They will not judge and condemn or bash you for things that you share with them or things that you experience. Any, unfortunate experiences that you have, whether your car is repossessed, you don't have to worry about the whole family knowing about it before the night is over with. Make sure the people that you consider family are emotionally safe for you to consider family, okay? You don't want to just go around considering everybody your family. You don't want to do that to yourself, okay? So also during childhood, so let me start backwards and come forward. So in childhood, again, we don't get to choose our family. We get who we get, right? They're well-meaning, but we got to consider that we do have to have some compassion for the adults in our life, whether they screwed us up emotionally, whether they were mean-spirited, they dismissed our emotions, they were not there for us. Picture or consider this: what created that type of individual? Who was abusive or neglectful to their emotions when they were growing up? They got this from somewhere. They didn't just roll over one day and decided, let me be mean as hell, or let me withhold affection, let me treat this child any kind of way, let me treat my brother and sister this kind of way. Like, something has gone on. So I know we don't have all the time in the day to figure out what everybody's issue is, but especially for your parents, you have to have some compassion for them, because they too have not had some needs met, which is why they're unable or not willing to deal with your emotional needs. Okay, so during childhood, whenever you grow up in a family that does not know how to communicate well, communicating to them is dismissing your emotions. It is telling you to shut up when you're crying. It's, letting kids know you are to be seen and not heard. A lot of our parents grew up during that time frame. Our parents, our grandparents, they did it to us. You are to be seen, not heard. Shut up, sit in a corner. Or if you cry, they would say, shut up, you want me to give you something to cry about? And it's like, no, Mom, you already gave me something to cry about. I don't need anything else from you. Thanks a lot. It's like, I need to be able to express myself, right? And y'all wonder why y'all dating people who don't know how to express their emotions, who crazy as batshit, and they try to make you crazy too. But anyway, I'm not going to get on that just yet. So as children, we need to feel safe to express our emotions. So when your emotional needs are dismissed, or you're made to feel like you're not seen, heard, or understood, it causes you to keep those emotions inside. It causes you to be anxious. It causes you to be upset, enraged. Those feelings got to come out some way, right? Whether you start to have behavior issues in school, you start to have issues trusting people, because in your family, you've learned, I'm unworthy, because if I was worthy or enough, then my parents or my family would not reject me when I'm trying to express myself. I would not feel so alone, so dismissed when I'm trying to express myself. I would feel more accepted when I'm trying to express myself, or I'm going through something, or a little bit of understanding should be shown when I'm going through something. So it teaches us that our needs are not going to be met. Keep your feelings and emotions bottled in. Keep it to yourself, because the world is not safe. People are not going to understand and appreciate me when I do express things that I need. And so a few things that this type of family pattern teaches us, besides the fact you'll have trust issues, you'll have a poor sense of self, meaning that you're not encouraged to be your best self. You may not have had a parent, like if you're in the bathroom singing, they may tell you, shut up, sit down. They don't encourage you to kind of sharpen those gifts. You may be a child that, used to paint really well or draw really well. You probably did not have a family setting that encouraged you to keep on drawing, who built you up, who told you you're going to be a great artist one day, you're going to be a great singer someday. I know for me and my family, I was always told, shut up, kids are seen and not heard, you always got something to say, go sit in the corner, you crying about something else, I'm going to give you something to cry about. And again, like I say, child, y'all already gave me something to cry about. What more I need to cry about? So, of course, I would think that. I wouldn't say it, of course. And also, being in a unhealthy family dynamic, also, it causes you to have issues communicating. And as I explained, you don't feel safe to communicate your feelings with people, because however you were treated in that family dynamic, it shapes who we are. It shapes our personality. And it makes us think that other people will treat us that way. And the worst thing is when we get friends, we get in middle school, high school, college, and we have friends who treat us the same way. They're emotionally unavailable, like our parents and family. They're dismissive when we're trying to sit them down and have a conversation like, hey, I kind of felt, what you did was a little shady, or, I noticed that you tend to disappoint me in this area. You start to notice that you're attracting friends who have some of those similar relationship patterns from your family, right? It's all connected. The reason why we attract people who act like our parents, who remind us of our family, is because you're used to it. You're used to that energy. You're used to being around avoidant people. You're used to being around people who are not going to take your needs seriously. So that's why I talk about attachments, because it's good to think about your attachment style, were your emotions accepted and heard as a child, because that is played out in your adult intimate relationships and even friendships. Okay, you ever wonder why there's some people, they got a new set of friends every 90 days? It's like, girl, where that person come from? They have a new set of friends every 90 days. You don't see nobody from their childhood. Just poor, they have a huge fallout with everybody so often. It's just like, those kind of people, you just, you pray for them. You don't judge them, because everybody got to go through their own stuff, right? So the other challenge that you'll have growing up in a family that has unhealthy relationship dynamics is that your boundaries, you were taught that your boundaries are not, they don't mean anything, right? So, for instance, let's say you get in a fight at school when you were younger and you lose, or, your cousins or your siblings hear that you lost. They tease you, you got to walk around. As soon as you say something to one of them, they remind you, you got your butt whipped by such and such the other day. Be careful, So we grow up in families that tease us, they crack jokes. That is common amongst the African American family setting, right? But a lot of times, those jokes, even fat jokes, my family's known for fat jokes. Like, the day I ever make it, y'all, trust me, y'all ain't gotta attack nobody for calling me fat. That they're going to come better than that. Let me just say that, okay? Fat is just, that's just something common in my family. Like, they're going to come for you if you're fat, okay? And so I always tell myself, you're doing real good, Wendy, if that's the first and only thing that people talk about is you being fat. So anyway, for me, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, family, although they screw you up, right? The blessing is you could take those skills. At an early age, I learned to have tough skin. At an early age, I learned to build myself up because I did have a father. You got to have at least one person who speaks life to you. You got to have at least one person who encourages you, at least one person who believes in you and want to challenge you or push you to believe in yourself. I had a father and several other people, but especially my father, to let me know you are beautiful as you are. You are amazing. You are intelligent. You are a Williams, all that good stuff. That's planting seeds. So even when I was in environments or with other relatives who did not esteem me or encourage me that way, it was still always in the back of my head, right? So that's why it's always good to speak life and encourage children. Start young, okay? So when you have all these different negative, oh, thank you, honey, best friend. So, so when you have these negative dynamics in your family, whether it came directly from your parents, siblings, and siblings, cousins, they could be extra mean, child, extra mean. Again, it teaches you that this is what you should expect from having a relationship with other people. And so a lot of times when you come from family backgrounds where it was kind of negative, toxic, when you decide to challenge that, people in your family are not going to be receptive. When you let your mother know, I don't appreciate, or I can no longer come over if everybody's fussing and arguing. I don't want to be around that kind of energy, Mom. Your mother may take that offensively because in her mind, this is what we do. This is what it is. This is the norm. Who are you know, do you think you're better than us? That's what your family will say. Even your parents will start to say that. Do you think you're better than us? This is how we've always done things. Who are you to challenge that now? And it's just like, even though we've always done it that way, don't mean we have to continue to do it that way. Why don't we try something different? Screaming and shouting is not getting us anywhere. How about one person speak at a time? Because when two people are arguing and yelling, a person from afar can't tell who the crazy one is, right? So how about we learn to give each other the space to talk? Hey, Maria. So it's like, once you challenge the dysfunction and try to encourage a better way to communicate, try to encourage more affection and more respect, and giving people their privacy, and giving people the space to express themselves, people who are not ready to change, people who are used to the family dynamics being as they are not going to be receptive. So you have to be ready to be judged, criticized. They're going to talk about you like a dog, right? Some of y'all are probably already going through it. You're going to be considered difficult, problematic, a troublemaker. You're going to be black sheep, because some people want to be stuck. And guess what? You have to call a thing and meet people where they are. Stop trying to change people. Once you talk about it enough to a parent, yes, it's hurtful. Yes, it angers you, because once your emotional needs are not being met, they're still going to expect you to shut up, get over it, still connect with us, still act like everything is okay. But it's like, wait a minute, why I gotta swallow that and you're not meeting my needs? I'm an adult, okay? Now also, guys, side note, if you still live with your mother or father, or you live in a relative's house, you know, let's say you're having a temporary setback or whatever the case may be careful trying to set boundaries when you're living in someone's home, okay? You're kind of limited on what you can do, because you can't be in my house bossing up. you can't set but so many boundaries in your mama's house. You know, there's some people, I demand to have privacy. Girl, as long as your name ain't on the deed or anything, you cannot expect but so much, right? Yes, honey, meet them where they are, over there somewhere. Absolutely, absolutely. Don't try to change anybody, guys. Please, whenever I talk about relationships, you will understand this more if you follow me. I am mainly talking about improving the relationship with yourself first and then others. That is it. I could care less about an intimate relationship, okay? But I do know that because we avoid ourselves and dealing with our own stuff, we focus on having a relationship. We focus on being that best friend to everybody. We focus on, you know, our performance at work. We focus on everything and excelling in everything. And, you know, we want to be at church and be in every club or every ministry, because we are focusing on everything except for facing ourselves. Okay? So keep that in mind, that I'm always talking about you dealing with yourself to improve the relationship you have with yourself and then others. Okay? And so to sum things up, guys, I believe I've been going on and on. If you have questions or comments, please make them, because I'm wrapping up. So again, once you challenge what is the norm for your family, people are going to reject you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to, you know, kind of criticize you, make you feel like you think you're better. Who are you to, you know, challenge us this way? And it's okay. It's okay. Everybody gets judged. Jesus was judged. You good. You're not going to fall apart. You'll survive if you get judged by your family, or, you know, ostracized, or people throw a little shade at you, or they don't invite you to everything anymore. Because you're evolving, because you're trying to break generational curses, you're not even going to feel any kind of way if you don't get invited to the cookout or to an event where everybody's yelling and feuding, or these set of people in one corner not talking to these set of people. You're going to feel okay. You're going to be like, oh, really? Anyway, you're not even going to care about what happened because you're so over it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you guys know you'll be okay if you don't get invited to everything. You're not going to faint, okay? Please leave your contact information. Okay. Your services are deeply needed in the community. Thank you, darling. Absolutely. Thank you. I will. Keep in mind, this is why we have a lot of people who have anxiety issues. They're always high strung. They're always worried. They're always trying to control people they're in relationships with because they were not able to control the relationship dynamics they had in their family. So they're always trying to be in a position of leadership. It's a blessing and a curse, guys. So it has its pluses. We're leaders. We execute, we get things done. We're performers. We're very loyal. Those of us who've come from, very toxic and draining relationship backgrounds in our families, we've learned we have to protect ourselves. We have to survive and do for ourselves. And sometimes we did it to get kudos and approval and acceptance and validation from our family. But as you got older, you realize, you know what, it's pointless. I got to do for me. So we excel. We go to college or we work our way up in the corporate setting. And because I got a friend, she don't have a degree first, makes 6 figures, doing really well for herself. So we learn to be very ambitious and take care of ourselves. And a lot of times those same family members who've treated you like crap, who have not esteemed you and nurtured you and been loving and kind to you, are the same people that's going to need you when you're making your good coins, honey. Okay? Ain't that right, Cornelius? Those going to be the same people on your line with their stories, needing some help, needing something. And I would just encourage you, pick and choose who you want to help. Don't allow people to use you or guilt you into doing anything for you if they're not a healthy person for you to stay in contact with. Besides the anxiety issue, like I said, you'll have poor relationship issues. You'll have severe trust issues. Also, guys, I know Black people hate to hear this, but I always encourage therapy. Whenever you realize you have relationship struggle after relationship struggle, you have the same relationship issues, different guy, different woman, but the same patterns and dynamics are coming up, do not be afraid of some clinical intervention, or you just may need some talk therapy. Talk it out. Prayer is also helpful. Talk to somebody at your church. Talk to somebody who is not a friend who you've probably drained and told all these things to forever and a day. You need an objective person, and sometimes you need a clinically trained person or professionally trained person who's a counselor, who's a coach, who's someone who can kind of give you another perspective on how to look at it and give you some tools and strategies on how to build yourself up and not take this personal, not be shamed by the fact that your family rejected you or that your parents mistreated you. Don't let that get the best of you. I know it's easier said than done. I've been through a journey myself with me and my mom being, both two strong-headed people, but I just always felt like I don't want to be controlled. Like, as I got older, just me, my mom is Jamaican, my family's Jamaican. Just me not agreeing with my mother, oh my God, like that is like beyond disrespectful. Like, I'm like, Mom, no, I don't think we should have collard greens. I think we should have string beans. Child, you would think I cursed at the lady and then some, okay? So it's like, that's a mild example. But just the littlest things, just not agreeing with my mother and being an adult child, having an opinion of your own and a mind of your own is considered disrespectful in my family. You are not supposed to have a mind of your own. Whatever the adults say, it goes. And I don't know where it came from in me from a young age. I don't think so. I'm going to challenge everything. I have a question. I need some more understanding. That's just always been me. I definitely challenge, what's going on. Maria said, nope, I don't mind being the perfect model for your children. I don't mind being the perfect model for your children. Perfect model. Be careful with the word perfect, honey, because ain't nobody perfect, girl. Nobody perfect. Don't even try to live up to that. You're going to stress yourself out. So, any questions? Yes, Jamaican. My family is Jamaican, child. I'm telling you, you can't have no thoughts of your own. You can't act like you're setting a boundary. Oh, and also keep in mind, guys, when you have these challenges, the poor relationship issues, trust issues, poor attachments, trying to be an overachiever, also on top of it causing you to be anxious and in distress all the time, and being a worrier, trying to manage everything all the time, You have to find some ways to honor yourself. Affirm yourself, guys. This is the last thing I will say. Learn to affirm yourself. Please do not wait for a man, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your sister, brother, nobody to tell you how great you are, how wonderful you are. Please find ways to do it yourself. Create some I am statements. I am loving. I am loved. I am powerful. I am enough. I am worthy. I know it sounds cliche because I used to be like, I'm not saying no affirmation statements. Black people don't say that. I know better now, okay? You have to build yourself up, okay? Because you were grown, you were raised and trained in a system that was meant to break your spirit. So now you have to spend your adult life rebuilding that, okay? All right, guys. Any questions, comments? Yes, Cornelius. Clinical intervention, y'all. Don't shy away from it. There's a lot of people who go to therapy and they will never tell you. A lot of African American people will go to therapy and will never tell you. So don't be afraid of it, guys, okay? Especially in the Christian community. Okay? And so, again, I am Wendy Wisdom. You can always reach out to me via email, Wendism101, that is WENDISM101@gmail.com, or my Instagram page, Wendy Wisdom, or my Facebook page, Wendy Wisdom. So yeah, you could definitely find me. Send me a DM, any questions or concerns you have. Holla at your girl, okay? And I'll be posting this on YouTube soon, on my YouTube channel, which is Wendy Wisdom also. That's right. I am not ashamed to say, that's right. Don't let nobody shame you. Be you. Do what is best for you. You know, I love family, but I am definitely careful on who I call my family. Definitely. My blood relatives, love you, bless you. You're awesome. But I'm very careful who I allow access to me. And that's even with friendships. Very careful who I give access to me. I'm getting better at the friendship piece because I do allow some foolishness sometimes. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Wednesday will be part 2. All right, guys. Toodles.